everyone. Today I'd like to welcome you to Wellness Watch, and I'm really excited to welcome two guests who have become one very long time friend and a new friend that I know will last for a long time as well. And as part of the show today, we're going to be talking about a subject that probably has impacted many of us, and I would like to introduce Margot and Catherine from I'm going to let them do their full introduction, but I'm just giving the quick introduction to talk about suicide awareness, the Paddle Power event that is coming up, and also West Central Behavioral, because as part of wellness and health and taking care of ourselves, mental health is a very important subject that we need to address and talk about. And so I brought Margot as the co-chair of Paddle Power and Catherine as the community marketing director. I guess I'll let you talk more about that. So welcome to Wellness Watch, being our first timers on the show, and I'm really excited to have you here. And I also want to just, before we go too far, I also want to say that Junie McEwen, who couldn't be here today, but has been a co-host with me for leading up to the show, we miss her, and I want to thank her for all the time that she has put into the show. And I'm sure there'll be other times that we can get Judy involved. So, Margot and Catherine, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
So, Margot, tell me a little bit about, or tell the audience a little bit about yourself and your connection to Paddle Power. Yeah.
So, I, along with my husband Joe, are very honored to be co-chairs this year for Paddle Power. We have a team called Paradox Paddlers, and how that name came up is there have been years past where a bunch of us girls have gotten together and gone to Paradox Lake in the Adirondacks. And Karen Rogers was one of the girls that was with us. And in 2011, Karen and Alan Rogers lost their daughter, Jasmine Rogers, to suicide. So it really hit all of us personally, and we just wanted to get into helping out with getting the word out of prevention for suicide.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And being part of that team and part of the Paradox Paddlers is pretty significant, because over the years, they've been paddling since 2012.
Since 2012.
Right.
So our team has gotten larger and larger, which
We keep recruiting.
which is a great thing. And this year we have our two oldest granddaughters that are joining us, because they're old enough. You have to be 12, right? 13 to paddle. So. But they also have a walk this year, which is the 5K walk. So people that don't want to paddle, they can also walk. So
very exciting.
Yeah.
All right. So you're on. Tell us a little bit more about your role and the event and what it all means to so many.
It's coming up in 3 weeks, August
Yes.
19th and 20th. My name is Catherine Hogan. It's a long title,
Okay.
Director of Development and Community Relations. Basically,
No wonder I didn't remember that,
getting
right?
everybody involved. That's right. And Paddle Power this is our 15th year of doing
amazing.
this event. And it's also the 40th year that West Central Behavioral Health has been serving the Upper Valley and Sullivan County with mental health and substance use services.
Good for you.
Yeah,
That's great.
Yeah, and thanks to people like you, Margot, and I don't think you mentioned that you have been a paddler as well.
Yeah,
so
I
the
have.
Paradox Paddlers team and the other teams that have come from all around New England for the last 15 years have done a great job not only to raise funds for our emergency services program, which provides crisis support 24 hours a day, 7 days a week throughout the year, but it also helps to raise awareness of the need for us all to be a little more comfortable thinking and talking openly about mental health challenges and suicide challenges. As you said, there's hardly anyone who hasn't been touched by this in some way.
Yeah. So I think it's really important to really talk about that.
Yes.
That the fundraising for that. Every time you get asked to make a donation or support a cause, people wonder where the money goes to. So I think it's great that you mentioned that it goes where it goes.
Yes.
So people can feel good about that.
Yeah. Our emergency services program receives more than 3,000 calls a year. That can be coming
Staggering.
from someone who is a mother of a teenager who seems to be showing suicidal tendencies and they don't know what to do. It could be coming from the teen themselves. We might be getting a call, let's say, from a policeman who's handling someone who's out of control and doesn't know how to respond.
Okay.
So West Central Behavioral Health not only has mental health clinics throughout the area, we have 5 clinics in Lebanon, Newport, and Claremont, but we're really embedded in the community, whether it's a fire department or the schools or the hospitals. Our clinicians are out there kind of, adding that extra mental health support.
It really, it is, it's a team effort. It's working together in community and having everybody on the same page, as well as the event. It's a big community.
It
is bringing everybody together for that weekend, and I think it's really important for people to understand the event. So I'm going to sort of take off and say, okay, so here comes August 19th and 20th. What happens on that weekend for the audience to know?
Well, it's exciting. It's exciting.
Very
and
exciting.
It's great when the weather's really nice, but it's also a lot of fun if it isn't.
Right.
But, just getting everybody together, and I think you can say the same
Yeah,
thing, that we've
absolutely.
met a lot of really nice people from all over the place, and they keep coming back year after year after year, and hopefully we can get the word out to just build this into something much bigger.
Yeah.
And just getting on the river together is just, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun just paddling down the river. It's not a race, and there's a couple of different stops, and they have plenty to eat, and it's a fun weekend.
So it's really a weekend of activities,
Yeah.
and I think
Yeah.
people that get involved with it realize that there's all different levels that you can get involved with. So maybe Kathleen, if you wanted to talk a little bit about what can you do to be part of
Sure.
Paddle Pow?
So as Margot knows, the event started out with some really dedicated folks doing. It actually started even longer, way up north, and was like a 30 to 40 mile thing.
Up in
But
Haverhill.
we tried to make it a
it's-
little bit less daunting and a little easier and more fun to get involved with. So on Saturday, people can participate either paddling one day. They can paddle both Saturday and Sunday if they want. We have people who come, and we reserve all of Storrs Pond camping recreation
Right,
area
right,
in Hanover.
yeah.
And so there's free camping for people who want to come. We have meals. So you can paddle both days. You can paddle one or of those days, either Saturday or Sunday, or you can walk now a 5K walk on Sunday morning that starts and ends at Kilowatt Park.
Which is awesome. That
Which is-
addition
yeah.
is, that's a great move for the event, because
Yeah,
there's so many people
is.
that I think, and we were talking about this earlier, that we're really hoping that the walk component
Yes.
of this event is going to draw those people that might not have been able to participate and really wanted to.
And, it's on a nice level area that most of it's like a nice, easy walking trail from
Is it the one
Kilowatt
that-
Park to Dothan Brook School and
great-
back. It's very stroller-friendly, pet-friendly, kid-friendly.
Yeah,
And
family
just
friendly.
for the logistics on the paddle, and people can, if you go to paddlepower.org, you can get all the specifics around the maps and the itinerary for the weekend. It starts on Saturday, the paddle,
Right.
in Orford, New Hampshire, at the boat launch there.
Yeah.
On Saturday, we have a rest stop, we have a nice lunch along the river, we have people there who are valets who help you in and out of your boat. We've been told
I
many
love that.
times that you're
Valets.
well taken care of, well fed. It's meant to be a pleasurable, nice paddle.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's wind, but it's a slow water stretch of the Connecticut that's very beautiful, and lots
Yeah.
of camaraderie on the teams.
Yeah, there is, and
Yeah.
and we've met a lot of really nice people from all over.
And it becomes a time for people to heal around suicide,
Right.
to get a little more comfortable dealing with it, to get peer support from others, and just to have a good, healthy outing for the weekend. So I was saying Saturday ends at about 4 at Hanover, at the boat launch in
Yeah.
Hanover, and then on Sunday we start again with the paddle, and it's a shorter paddle on Sunday, just from 9 to noon from Hanover to Wilder, and then we have a nice big at the end of the walk and the paddle at Kilowatt Park, there's a nice big lunch and celebration, DJ. We have a lot of fun raffle prizes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
is the Dartmouth football team coming back
They
again?
are. They come
Yes,
and they help
we need to give
serve
them
and do the grill every year. They're
kudos.
terrific.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
Buddy Stevens and the coaching staff
Absolutely.
and players. They support the event and they cook for us. So it's,
They do.
So it's even,
Yeah, it's a lot.
And the fact that when we get off the river on Saturday, you don't have to worry about getting your
good
boat
point.
back and forth. They leave all the boats right
They're
there.
stored.
They're stored right there. So you just got to come back Sunday morning and get in your boat and,
paddle down.
yeah, and paddle down.
And so many volunteers go into putting this together, and
Yeah.
we'd be remiss if we didn't, mention the volunteers, because there's people on land that are volunteering.
Mm-hmm.
We have the emergency services folks that are out on the river to make sure everybody's safe, and they volunteer, their time. And again, when you were saying it's a slow, nice, and controlled, that's the beauty of it. And I will say, I have paddled, and I love to paddle, and I will be paddling again this year, because it just feels like you're all in this together. So there's kind of this calm over it, and people are all there for the same reason and the same cause, to remember, to reflect, to support whatever might be of why we're supporting the families that have gone through suicides or friends or whoever it is. And yet there's no rush. Now, there's some people that want to get out there and paddle along, and you can canoe or kayak, doesn't matter, right? But there's a lead boat and there's a trail boat, if you
Yeah.
will. So we're kept together as a group, so it's
As a group,
unity.
so it's not too far apart
Yeah,
from each
going
other.
down
Yeah.
the river. And we just hope for a beautiful sunny day.
And at about 11 o'clock on Sunday, when everybody's going under the Ledyard
Yes,
Bridge,
yeah.
it's so pretty, and we always have a lot of folks who want to support the teams and support the event who aren't necessarily participating, who line up on the Ledyard Bridge to wish everybody
Yeah.
good luck to finish the paddle.
That's
That's
the
really
greatest
awesome, because
thing,
they
right?
get all the boats together, and we just kind of go under the bridge all at once, and it's awesome.
People cheering from up
Yeah,
above.
it is awesome.
Yeah. So in the sense of, there's a lot that makes this come together, and there's a lot of support, not only from the paddlers that are in the boats and the volunteers, but I think we should probably talk a little bit about some of the sponsors in front of the scenes, behind the scenes. Who else helps put this event together?
We have such incredible support from the community around this event. People donating ice or food or gift cards for the raffle. And then we have some major sponsors that have been really very helpful in supporting what it takes to put on such a big event. And then also just making sure that the community understands that they value and they realize how important mental health and suicide prevention is. We've had every year for quite a long time, the Jack and Dorothy Byrne Foundation has
Sure,
donated
certainly.
a major sponsorship. For the last few years, GeoCon has been a major sponsor. We have a new sponsor this year in the Central Vermont Milk Producers Association, which is spearheaded through Booth Brothers Dairy and Hood. That's really
awesome.
exciting.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I don't want to be remiss in terms of, Hypertherm Hope Foundation is a fantastic supporter of this event and of West Central Behavioral Health in so many ways. We really, their commitment to the community has been fantastic for us in many
Great.
ways. And then, as I said, the list of support from the Dartmouth football players to Stinson's Market that brings over the
Right, all
grill.
that.
I don't want to mention too many names because I'd have to mention them
admit
all.
them all,
And
yeah.
Really, we are so grateful to the community and to the volunteers. We couldn't pull this off without them.
You couldn't. It's
Yeah.
just such like you said, a community commitment. I think that might be a new tagline that we should get
Community
out.
commitment. I like
Community
that.
commitment.
CC.
Yeah, that you get it together.
Yeah.
So I'm going to rewind. So we've talked a little bit about Paddle Power, but we'll come back to it.
Mm-hmm.
For those that might not know a lot about suicide, we were talking earlier too about some of the statistics, and it amazes me to think about the impact that suicide has had. And one of my stories was one of my classmates from high school, almost 40 years back, after a freshman year of being in school. committed suicide. And then, of course, my daughter was a classmate of Jasmine's junior year in high school. And so those are my personal connections. There's been others. But from a statistical standpoint, and I was looking down some of these things, talk to us a little bit
Sure.
about that.
Sure. And I think, I think we can be overwhelmed by the statistics, but then I think we also want to talk about the fact that with events like this, a lot of what we're trying to do as a culture is bring these things out of the dark,
Very
and
nice.
reduce
Stigma.
the
Yep.
stigma and make it, how many times have we all thought about whether it's in your family or a friend, and the first thing that you say is, why weren't we talking about it? Why didn't anybody talk? And so we've shared as friends just that mental health is still too much in our culture. It's changing somewhat, but the stigma is still there.
Still there.
People who so you had asked about the statistics. It's phenomenal in the country. Suicide rates are at their highest levels in 30 years, which is terrible.
Yeah,
And
we need to do something about it.
we do. And sadly, in Grafton and Sullivan County, the rates are even higher than that. In Sullivan County, the suicide rate among youth 18 and under is double the rate of the rest of the country.
Who would have ever thought,
Right.
Right.
And we are often asked at West Central, do you know exactly what's causing this? Can you pinpoint? And it's not necessarily one thing or the other, but I will tell you that what is understood clinically and statistically is that most people who attempt or commit, and actually I want to correct myself. We've tried to reduce the use of saying commit suicide. It
Okay.
sounds almost like a crime,
Okay.
right?
Right.
Die by suicide. And so I have to put $5 in the jar tomorrow because I commit suicide a few times now. But die by suicide. And we know that most of those people are suffering from a treatable mental illness like depression or substance use disorder.
It's almost becoming like a chronic
It is a symptom.
symptom. Yeah, there
Exactly.
you go.
Right. So, our efforts to encourage people to reach for mental health when the time comes, or to, stop making it feel as if substance use disorder is just a character flaw. Get treatment.
Yeah.
And make sure as a community and as a culture that we realize the importance of making that treatment accessible.
Yeah. So it needs
Yeah.
to be talked about. I mean,
Mhm.
that's the thing, is a lot of times in the past, it's a dark
Yes,
thing.
yes.
It's dark. And, Taylor, my daughter, also lost another classmate after high school just last year. And even thinking about it is like, why aren't we talking more about it? We need to
Yeah.
find out what's going on in those minds and get the support that they may feel that they don't have. And if they feel they can't open the door to get that assistance or help, we've got to, again, as a community,
Yeah.
make a commitment to find ways to support them. And yeah, even vets, I mean,
We were talking about our veterans. The numbers are up really high on veterans also.
As many as 20 a day.
A
in the
day,
country.
yeah, something
Yeah,
like that,
yeah.
yeah.
who would ever think
So-
that?
20% higher rate than their civilian counterparts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's another whole population that really is important. And I don't remember, is there representation or has there been?
We would love to have more.
More events.
We've been coordinating with the VA
Yeah.
in White River Junction, and we would encourage vets, families to join us or to get involved with Paddle
Okay.
Power. We do a lot of work, obviously, with vets. In fact, mention this. New Hampshire is the only state in the country right now that started a new initiative called Ask the Question.
Okay.
And it's a statewide initiative, and the community mental health centers like West Central Behavioral Health are a key part of it. And it's about bringing down barriers between vets and the services that are out there.
Okay.
Especially in rural areas where they might not be near a VA, but they're uncomfortable going to someone other than the VA for care because they don't think they understand their particular challenges. So this has been a fantastic program going. If you Google Ask the Question newhampshire.org. It's a terrific campaign, and we're trying to just help to train mental health and other providers to be sensitive to the specific needs of vets.
Okay.
And the military culture and what that means, and encourage vets and their families to access those services.
Again, it's bringing more awareness.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Is really what,
Yeah.
bottom line, this is the goal, is
Right.
to get awareness to
Yeah.
help whichever,
And there's some
population.
motorcycle groups, the Rolling Thunder
Yeah.
group, and there's a number of different motorcycle groups that are not just vets, but that are out there too. So it's getting out there. It's just getting that word out there to get more people involved, to just be there and be aware of it.
So how many people actually participate in Paddle Power? Because our audience is probably out there right now is thinking, Connecticut River boats, how to.
Right.
So I have heard different numbers, but
Yes.
I want the actual numbers.
Well, paddlers, we have anywhere from 100 to 200 paddlers on the river each year, which is great, and we love that. With the walk, there's just no limit. We're hoping to have quite a crowd. So please, that you can register ahead of time for the walk, or you can come that day, bring your family, your strollers, your friends. We'd love to. We really want to encourage families that maybe haven't been able to access the paddling, or even have felt a little daunted at the idea of getting a whole family out on the river. Not everybody's as game as Joe and Margot.
But they've got to be a certain age too to get
That's
out
right.
there. So
I should mention that, yes. So paddlers, just for water safety, 13 and older. If you're under the age of 16, you need to have a chaperone.
Okay.
And from 17 to 18, we'd like to have a letter of release from a chaperone or a parent.
parents.
And we have lots of kids, on
Yeah.
the water. One of the greatest teams we've had year in and year out are a lot of Jasmine's
Is a lot of
friends.
Jasmine's friends, yeah.
Yes.
And unfortunately, it doesn't really hit you personally until you know somebody personally that has been through this.
Right.
And so I can't imagine as a teenager struggling with that. But I love the idea that they all get together and they're having fun.
And they do
And
great
they
fundraisers.
do.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah,
They really do.
An active group, which
Yeah.
is, it's a way for them to heal. And,
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
remember Jasmine and remember.
In honoring her,
Honor
her
her
memory
spirit,
and being there and having it a fun, even though it's a really sad situation, it also can be just make people feel good that you haven't forgotten those people.
Right.
That it's
More
you're
and
still
more-
going to be
I'm
committed to
sorry.
that. No, that's fine.
More and more kids, I'm finding, at the high school level, they know, certainly suicide is present for
Right.
them.
Yeah.
And they want something to do. They want to feel like they can pick up a charge and do something. And this has been great. I want to take the opportunity to applaud Margot and Joe and the Paradox Paddlers team. Over the
Thank
years,
you.
you guys have raised more than $30,000 for our programs.
Yay!
Every one of those dollars makes a
Yeah.
difference.
And when we started out thinking, well, maybe we can get 2,000 or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, but every little bit helps, and the more people that you connect with, it's a good thing. It's a good feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's kind of recap and sort of think about, I want to highlight the event and then talk about how people can get involved. So again, the event is August 18th and 19th.
19th and 20th.
Oh, 19th and 20th. Friday is the 18th. You're
Right.
absolutely right. Sorry. So Saturday, August 19th, and Sunday, August 20th.
Yeah.
And you can register now. It's open, paddlepower.org. And I've registered.
Thank you.
Make sure you get out there. And you can pick either Saturday to paddle, you can pick Sunday to paddle, you can pick Saturday and Sunday to paddle, or you can walk on Sunday. And whatever event you want to get, yourself out there for, get involved. Remember, there's lots of refreshments along the way. It's a fun day to be out there. There's free overnight camping for those that travel at Storrs Pond. So make
Even
it,
for local folks that
Yeah,
decide
so-
they want to camp.
yeah, they can go and do the dinner and be there for that. And then at
Lots
the,
of entertainment. We have bands playing Saturday night
Oh, great.
at dinner at Storrs Pond. So, everybody will be well taken care
Yeah.
of who
And-
chooses to come.
and that's the thing, it's a celebration.
It is a
let's
celebration.
take we don't want to
Absolutely.
take away from what this is. It's a celebration and all these things coming together. And then the conclusion is at Kilowatt, free massages this year.
Free massages.
That's always a good one.
Yes.
Yeah, so there's, and they volunteer their time.
They do.
Volunteer their time to come and volunteer at the end of the event. And trust me, for those that do it, you might.
like that massage.
Yeah, we should have sat here for
Yeah.
the time, paddling
half an
back and
hour.
forth, or, right,
Yeah.
paddling our canoes.
Yeah.
And to get involved, if you can't paddle, you can't walk. Individuals, people can be sponsors.
They can be sponsors. You can sponsor a team. I'm sure Paradox Paddlers. You can go online and make a donation to
Yeah.
Paradox Paddlers or any of the other teams, or you can donate directly to West Central Behavioral Health on that site. We're still looking for volunteers if you'd like to come help volunteer, and you can of course donate to West Central Behavioral Health throughout the year. We're a nonprofit community
Right.
mental health center. I think sometimes in different places it's hard to know whether it's a private or a state. We're a private nonprofit organization, and we deliver more than $500,000 in charity care every year. So the support we
Fabulous.
receive from events like this and from the community is integral.
And
Yeah, that's great.
people probably have no idea. So
Exactly.
this is so important to have you guys here to talk about this event and what it means. And I'm going to put in a little plug. So we also are doing a fundraiser for the event at Salt Hill Pub in West Lebanon on Monday, August 7th, from 5 to 8, where people can come, and a portion of the sales during that time will go towards the event, Paradox Paddlers and the Paddle Power event. So mark your calendars, get that on board. And of course, there's Facebook page, there's websites, people can find the information. We're going to put it up at the end of the show, so that if people don't remember everything that we've talked about, because I know you're all there taking notes and making sure you get all the information, but we'll flash up the information so that you can make sure that you have the right contact information and get in touch with us, and we'll definitely put the names up and emails so that people can reach out. And anything last that you guys would like that we might have missed? I think that this time goes so quick.
It does.
That's
does.
what's amazing, because I feel like we could just keep talking
yeah.
and speak to it. But is there anything else that you guys want to share before we sign off?
Wow. Just come out and join us. Come
Yeah.
out and join us, and just help support, West Central Behavioral Health, and also just a little bit more on our veterans too. I think it's really up to us to get out there and help our veterans, and just be supportive of those that are going through all the things that they've been going through, and it just keeps going on and on. It's not, it's year after year. It's a good thing to keep remembering those people that aren't with us anymore.
Right, absolutely. And Catherine, how about
I
you?
mean, there have been times in the past, someone reminded me the other day that at one point in time, a couple generations ago, people felt that it was awkward to speak of cancer. They wouldn't mention it,
Right.
We need to make mental health the same way. We need to.
We really
need
do.
we need to get to the point where there's no sense of shame related to mental health and suicide prevention, and help people realize that it's part of a wellness,
Right,
part of the wellness.
There you go.
Mental health is as critical as physical health, and
it is. And that's so important. And the physical health is important, getting out on the river and moving our bodies and taking care of ourselves. So whether it's physical or mental, spiritual, whatever your wellness is, then it's a great event to get involved with. So I want to thank both of you for being here.
Oh, thank you for
and
having
for
us.
our audience out there, please make sure that you check out paddlepower.org and Wellness Game Plan, which is my business, and I'd certainly work with anybody that needs some help, needs some coaching, and look forward to having a great time August 19th and 20th. I got the dates right.
You did.
All right. Thank you.